Okay, episode 4. Let's jump right into this. Now this episode we start off with a bit of a somber note where it has the deputy and his mom bringing his father to the hospital as his mental condition is worsening, but he noticeably doesn't want to stay.
Sonny, I want to go home.
No, Dad, it's okay. Look, this place is really nice.
We stay here together.
I'll give you folks a few minutes, okay?
But it was kind of important that he stay somewhere safer because apparently, according to the dialogue, he had tried to open up the door at nighttime before and almost let the creatures in. Then we cut back to the present, and the deputy is now running from the house and he's coming to get Boyd to tell him he has something to show him.
I have to show you something.
Can it wait? I gotta go.
No. I have to show you now.
Then we make a cut back to Tabitha in the kitchen, and she's looking noticeably stressed about everything she's been seeing and everything that's been going on. And of course, Julie picks up on this.
It happened again, didn't it? I need you to watch Ethan for a minute. I need to talk to your father.
You can tell me.
I know. I saw something, but listen, I'm fine. And you're fine, right? I just need to talk to Daddy.
Then here comes this fucking guy. And of course, he walks in like,
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Are you people living here now?
Our house collapsed.
Well, at least you had one. It's not my fault you broke it.
Emotional damage.
he's over here walking around like they volunteered to live with him or something. Soon as he saw them, he was just like,
Come on now, bitch, ain't nobody trying to see that shit.
After he finally goes upstairs, Julie asks Ethan if he wants to go see Victor, and he says yes. But then we make another cut back to the deputy. And of course, as he brings Boyd to the basement,
It's time to
and the look on Boyd's face, you would think he just seen a ghost, and she's just sitting there like,
Hi, how are you?
So Boyd asks the deputy to give him some privacy to speak to Sarah, and of course the deputy's reluctant, but he eventually listens. And Boyd asks her the question that I personally wanted to know the answer to. How long was she sitting down there?
After you pushed me in that tree, where'd you go?
I followed right behind you,
And?
and then I was here.
So you've been here since the other night?
Like, bruh, she was really sitting down there the entire time? I thought I was just being extra by saying that shit, but goddamn. And Boyd basically asks her how she knew that the trees were a good idea. And she says she was told by the boy in white that they made the place angry and they'd be safer if they went through the trees. And that she also thinks that the boy in white is trapped there just like they are. Then she asks a question that we all needed to know the answer to. Did he tell the deputy that she's the one who set his father up to get
Muy bien. Muy bien.
Boy, you didn't tell Kenny about what happened that night at the clinic.
And Boyd says,
No.
like, bruh, this dude is steady protecting this girl when homie over here got put in the box immediately when he fucked up. So then Boyd goes upstairs and lets the deputy know about Sarah and her abilities.
Is uniquely connected to this place. Something here has communicated with her.
Communicated how?
She hears voices. I know. I know how it sounds. Believe me, when Father Kotry came.
Father Kotry knew.
Father Kotry questioned her. And what he found proof of is that something here was talking to her.
So what, she's just been downstairs since Father Kotry died?
I took her with me into the forest.
And now the deputy is just looking at him like,
Lies! Lies! When will the lies end?
then he reminds Boyd,
She killed her own brother. She tried to kill a 9-year-old kid.
Yes.
and Boyd slips up and says,
And I know that what she did is unforgivable. But listen, when she killed those people.
and Kenny just interrupts him like,
People.
You know you done fucked up, right?
and Boyd hurries up and corrects his wording.
It's just Nathan.
I mean,
That you had.
yeah, she almost with Ethan. You know what I'm talking about, right?
And the deputy just calmly says,
Box that bitch!
We'll handle it.
She's dangerous. Boy, she belongs in the box.
and of course Boyd gets super defensive.
Hey, she's not going in the goddamn box, okay? No one else is going into the fucking box.
But then, uh-oh, Boyd gets lightheaded, and of course, yeah, it's those damn parasites under his skin again. Now we cut to Julie and Ethan arriving at Victor's house, and of course Ethan immediately makes a beeline for Victor's room. and he apologizes to Victor immediately, but of course Victor is not too thrilled with him at the moment, and a lot of times I get a bit off-put by Victor's demeanor, but then I keep having to remember he's been here his whole life, so he is still mentally a child. But, you know, Ethan eventually does apologize to him, and he gives him a little parting gift, some markers to add some color to his art. Then Julie and Ethan leave. Now we cut back to Boyd, and he's being examined by Christy because of course he just passed out. And of course, as she's examining his body, she asks him about the huge gash on his arm. You know the one.
We're out of time!
My blood is your blood now.
And he says to her that he scratched his arm on a branch. Like, I swear, this man is such a terrible liar, talking about he scratched his arm on a branch when it looks like he got into a fight with Wolverine. But then he tries to stand up and leave, and yeah, sit tight, bud. You're not going anywhere. But then we cut to the bar, and Jade meets the bus driver there, and she is noticeably upset. And of course, she feels responsible for getting everybody stuck in this shitty situation. And Jade tells her,
Look, it's not your fault, okay? You want to feel like shit? Fine, but don't carry around a bunch of guilt thinking that you ruined anybody else's. Besides, they were riding a bus. Their lives couldn't have been that great to begin with. It's a bad joke. Sorry.
and I'm just sitting here watching him give her words of encouragement like,
No! No! No!
Like, is this man going through his redemption arc? Look at bro over here trying to be a likable character. But we cut back to Tabitha, and she meets Jim outside. And Jim lets her know that a voice that came over the radio warned him of the house about to collapse, and basically lets her know about his theory on what this place is, and how he basically believes someone or something has been watching them this entire time. Now we make a cut back to Boyd, who is at his office, but as soon as he walks in, and he can't believe what he's seeing.
This ain't real.
But as they start talking, even the ghost or hallucination of Father Kotri is telling him to face the fact that Sarah killed Kenny's dad.
How exactly are you going to tell Kenny that Sarah killed his dad?
She didn't kill him.
She opened the door, potato. Think Kenny's going to be interested in the minutia of exactly what happened?
And he's even poking at the fact that Boyd then gave her his friendship and his trust, and Boyd is just looking at him like,
These lies on my name!
But at the same time, he's telling Boyd to not tell Kenny what happened because that wouldn't be beneficial to anyone. But then he does something to rub me the wrong way.
What, you want to be everyone's friend? Go be the new bartender. Apparently there's a vacancy.
Hey, whoa, you leave him out of this. But then we cut back to Jim at the house, and he's telling Donna that he knows she heard the voice on the radio too, and is basically telling her that he wants to let everyone know. But then she gives him a reality check and lets him know what happened at the house after he ran off.
Do you realize what happened here after you ran off? The fucking lights exploded. One of my people almost went blind. If they're really watching us, they sure as shit aren't helping us.
And she basically tells him to keep his mouth shut, and she also reassures him that she's not telling him to ignore what happened, but she just doesn't want him getting people's hopes up again because she doesn't know if anyone there can take it. But we cut back to Kenny in the basement with Sarah, and he's questioning her about her abilities and what could have possibly made her do the horrible things she's actually done. And he's genuinely trying to be understanding because he actually does care. And he basically tells her he wants to trust Boyd's judgment and he wants to back him up, but then she does the unthinkable.
Tell you.
I swear, whenever she's on screen, she's either screwing up someone's plan or inconveniencing somebody. But then we cut back to the house with Donna, and of course, this fucking guy.
You don't touch my shit!
He went through my back.
And of course, Donna's looking at him like,
Is this nigga serious?
And she goes to the kitchen to remain calm, but eventually, she can't take it anymore and she lets him have it.
Get your shit. You don't like the rules here? You can live somewhere else.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck up!
And yet again, he's looking like,
Let me stop playing before I get my ass dealt with.
And he gets up and goes with her. And it looks like she's about to force him to live on the bus that they showed up in.
You're a victim.
Then she leaves him there, and he looks like he's about to shit himself. But then we cut back to Boyd, and he goes to the hospital and sees Kenny staring at the blood stain that used to be his father.
Before we came here, I don't think I ever once remember seeing my mom cry. And now every single night, I hear her sobbing in her room because she's convinced that if she had been here with my dad, that he wouldn't have gone out of the basement. But he didn't open the door, did he?
No.
And he asks Boyd how long he knew, and Boyd tells him he found out the night before he left. And Kenny rightfully says,
She's going in the fucking box.
Then he drops his badge on the ground and says,
You watch your own fucking six.
Like, damn, that shit felt like a mic drop. I honestly can't blame Kenny for wanting her to go in the box, because I would be out for murderous revenge too, especially after all I've done figuring out she's the person who did what happened to his father, basically. Honestly, with her abilities, I wouldn't really trust just putting her in the box, because who the hell knows what she's capable of? She might fuck around and start commanding those things. But that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and this has been MarblePluto. Until next time.